This is XPeng X9, the latest Chinese electric MPV on the market. Yes, I know we've talked a lot about MPVs on this channel and you guys might not be very into it. But trust me, this one could change your mind. Because we reckon that in the future, MPVs will be more suitable for literally everyone, as electrification will make it just better in every single way. We even think MPVs are bound to be electrified. And today, let me show you why. I'm Harris, you're watching my review. If we ignore the price, what we want from a certain type of cars are actually the same. We want large saloons for comfort and luxury, hot hatches for performance and excitement, and SUVs for versatility and the presence. As for MPVs, there's only one thing we're thinking about: the space. So let's get in the back first and see what this one can offer. Comfy seats, big screens, fridges, and trays were all considered premium features for luxury cars. But now these are just basic offers in Chinese family EVs, and this one is no exception. Some may think competing on these minor features are making the development straight away from the car itself, but for an MPV, these are what truly enhance the overall experience. Here's an example. After filming the X9 that day, I needed to do some work on my laptop. That was when I really appreciated the second row. The tray can secure my laptop, the seat can be adjusted just right, the heating and massaging can relax my body, and the smooth ride experience and excellent NVH can prevent any disturbance to my work. Actually, the most impressive thing in this MPV is the ride. Due to the structural design, many MPVs, including vans, tend to have some resonance and noise from the seats and floor during high speed. However, in this car, none of that exists. Just when I thought this environment couldn't get any more comfortable, I suddenly realized that I can lie down and review and edit using this massive screen and a 23-speaker stereo system. This is just a small application. MPV is more spacious and square than the large sedans, creating more possibilities. And thanks to the electrification, loads of new features can drastically improve the experience in the back. I'm quite confident to say this is a true business class on the land. And even in the third row, a 6'3" guy like me can also get a cozy ride. Due to the strange schedule of the test drive, I spent quite a long time in the third row. Surprisingly, it didn't leave me feeling tired at all. The space is actually quite plenty, the seats are wide and comfy, and adjustable angle of the backrest is super wide. Plus, it's got cup holders, charging ports, power adjustments, exclusive voice commands, and even its own temperature zone. When it comes to the riding experience in the third row, it's also amazing. Even though the rear wheels are right below me, I didn't feel the extra bumps or body links. The only difference is in the noise, because the side windows and the rear windshield are not double-layered glass. But even so, I can still chat with the driver easily during high speed.
就你们这个车后悬显得特别长，我觉得第一就是为了空间，第二就是为了安全。
Although it's a shame that there's no center armrest, it's still impressive. After all, the third row is usually for cargo or dogs, but this was designed for full-size people. What's more, there's even exclusive space for the seat itself. Let's not forget, underneath the floor, XPeng squeezed a rear-wheel steering, rear-wheel drive motor, a 101 kWh battery, and a rear H-arm suspension system. So it's really not that simple making room for the pit. Once we fill the pit with seats, you can totally use the X9 as a proper van. Some might worry about the safety of this design. Other MPVs with a similar setup could pose serious safety risks when being rear-ended. But XPeng clearly thought this through and put a crash beam that has a yield strength of 1,700 megapascal behind the pit. Plus, being a native EV, the rigid battery pack itself can make the chassis much tougher. Speaking of motors, suspension, and the rear-wheel steering, it's time to find out how this giant vehicle performs on the road. Spoiler alert, it's something else. Driving dynamics of MPV is not particularly interesting, as it has always been boring and sloppy. However, this X9 gave us a whole new experience. Despite its 2.6-ton weight, the 370 kilowatts dual motor can drag the car from 0 to 100 in 5.7 seconds. Even with the typical hollow MPV structure, the rigid body and well-tuned double-chamber air suspension provide a thrilling experience close to that of luxury SUV. Although it's almost 5.3 meters long and nearly 2 meters wide, the rear-wheel steering can reduce the turning radius to 5.4 meters, even shorter than the Smart One. But no matter what, it couldn't defy the laws of physics. As an MPV, it focused on superior comfort and highway stability, not necessarily on being the sportiest on the block. That's why the sport mode in this car feels more like another comfort setting in winding roads. Actually, you don't even need to pay too much attention to the driving, because it can practically drive itself. In my roughly 200-kilometer test drive, I only drove about 10% myself. This includes situations like too cautious overtaking choices, overlapping lane due to roadworks, and sometimes when I just want to take over. The rest of the time, the car just did exactly what it should do, without assist from HD map. Which means the XNGP can also be available in other countries. In fact, they will be in Europe by the end of 2024. So maybe our European viewers will get a chance to see how it stacks up against Tesla's FSD. Alright, we've established that this electric MPV is very good to drive and can even drive itself. But I reckon that there's still many people who just don't want to drive an MPV because they look like mom's cars. Well, this one is the exception. From the previous clips, I bet you could tell this MPV looks quite different. The lines are sharp, the panels are super flat, and the seamless window make the car appear really futuristic. According to XPeng, the inspiration was from starships. Well, what do you think? Honestly, the overall proportion is not that right. The rear overhang is a bit too long, and the whole vehicle seems a bit bulky. It doesn't quite have that serious and ballsy look like the Zeekr 999. But then again, exterior isn't just about art, it's also about size. It's only with such a design that this Colossal can have an extremely low drag coefficient of 0.227, all while ensuring plenty of crash space for the third row passengers. So yes, it's not what we call pretty, but it's cool. Very cool. Even after watching the video, I'm sure some viewers still think that an all-electric MPV is pointless. Even in China, these are still harder to sell compared to plug-in hybrids. However, we still believe it's going to be huge. If you've seen the promo from various car companies or autonomous driving tech firms envisioning the future of automobiles, it's always about these all-electric, fully autonomous mobile spaces with seamless cabin space. Doesn't this MPV embody the essence of these future creations? In fact, the electrification of MPVs is already happening. Just a few weeks ago, Volvo launched an all-electric MPV, the EM90, based on its Chinese sibling Zeekr 999. And Hong Kong, although still dominated by Toyota Alphard, is even showing some love for an electric MPV, Maxus Mi-Fan 9. Which means it could be a start. This new kind of MPV defined by the Chinese might just be what you're looking for.